So some teens got arrested in Spokane, Washington for supposedly defacing a pride crosswalk. There's a lot of things to take to pick apart with this, but first of all, let's examine equal protection under the law, right? So this is a crosswalk. It's on the ground. It can be stepped on. These teens were riding scooters over it and left some skid marks. And they're calling this a hate crime. So remember years ago when the far left was tearing down statues and they got away with it? Remember all the attacks? Remember some of these people killed some police officers, and there you don't hear much on the news about this with regard to the statues. In most cases, they got away with it. Okay, they didn't get in trouble for it. Some people on the far left claim that this was freedom of speech. But, defacing a statue is freedom of speech, but leaving a skid mark on a pride crosswalk is not considered free speech, assuming it was even done on purpose. So, apparently, there's no equal protection under the law in this circumstance. But also, let's just take for a second, you call this a pride crosswalk. Like being gay is something to be proud of. If you started a multi-million-dollar business, now that's something that you could be proud of. You can take pride in starting a big business or accomplishing something, winning a gold medal. Now that's something you take pride in. But to take pride in because you're gay, that's as retarded as it sounds. I don't care. Nobody cares if you're gay. That's not a virtue. That's not something that you had to work to get, okay? That aside, you put this so-called monument on the ground as a crosswalk, and you punish people for leaving a mark on it. So this is proverbially walking on eggshells. So between the non-equal protection under the law and walking on eggshells, they're letting you know who's in charge. They're letting you know who is the protected class. Now, in this country, it's founded on the protections of the individual. If you look at the first 8 amendments of our Constitution, it's about protecting the individual against the government. There's no greater minority than the individual. We are not, as per the Renaissance, as per John Locke's philosophy, political philosophy, we are not protected because we belong to some group. That idea is Marxist. This is actually, it came from Hegel and this idea of collectivized consciousness, and then Marx then furthered that as he's talking about class warfare. In this instance, we have class warfare of different, quote, identities, as if these identities possess a singular consciousness. The solution to all this is rationality, is to have accountability to rationality. So you need good people that are capable of rational thinking, that seek to protect individual rights, and not because you belong to some group. And that's another thing. Conservatives, they're already in this group mentality. Like, what about conservative rights? What about, Christians? What about Jews? What about these other groups? And that's actually trying to correct a mistake by committing the same mistake. It can't work that way. You're just going to, you're falling into that paradigm. Okay, like I said, the solution is rationality. You protect people, you have equal protection under the law because you treat individuals as equal under the law. Okay, you don't give special privileges because somebody belongs to some group. You don't put a so-called pride monument on the ground that's there to be walked on. Okay. We need good people to run for city council, for county commissioner, for mayor, for attorney general, and we need accountability of rationality. You cannot have justice without rationality. When you take rationality out of the equation, you get vengeance. And this is what this is about. This is a political class using the far left as pawns, and their game of vengeance against normal, average citizens in the United States.